Hi, this is Clay from the Fish Nerds. This episode is very special because it's my first time trying to mix the show myself. The content is good, but the mix is kind of rough. Please bear with us as I figure this out. Thank you and enjoy the show. Welcome to the Fish Nerds. It's the latest about fish, fishing, and eating fish. That's Dave.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Clay. And anything is fair game, and it's a good bet this podcast is going to be a very different show in the upcoming months.
It's already started off differently.
It's already uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Man, we have not made a show in a long time.
It has been a long time. Well, the summer is a weird sort of time vortex. It's hard to keep track of time in the summer.
Indeed. And I was gone all summer at summer camp, and you were busy getting your kid off to college.
Yeah, I know. Go figure. It's crazy.
But, you know, here we are.
Yeah. But we have been fishing recently. Mm-hmm. You have an epic tale.
I do. Now, Dave, you and I have long time been trying to catch fish at the worst place in the state of New Hampshire called Silver Lake.
It was like one of our first couple outings out there.
Yeah, we've been out, and we spent the entire winter there trying to catch a lake whitefish. Yes. So let me read you what NewHampshireFishFinder.com says about Silver Lake.
Yes.
All right, now, first of all, this is the deepest lake in New Hampshire. Although Silver Lake is managed for both smallmouth bass and lake trout fishing, it's the smallmouth bass that excel here. Smallmouth bass were first stocked here in 1951, and according to the New Hampshire Fish and Game Department survey, have established a good fishery. Chain pickerel, yellow perch provide good ice fishing, but many fishermen overlook the yellow perch and chain pickerel in favor of the lake trout. It says that now yearling rainbow trout are stocked. The 7-mile shoreline is moderately developed, heavily wooded. The forest plus the nearby mountains make this a scenic lake. Now, it sounds good, right?
Well, it's very carefully worded.
Right.
It's like a political speechwriter wrote this.
Exactly.
So, yeah, for instance, it says, smallmouth bass and lake trout are managed in the lake. Doesn't say they're in the lake.
Right.
It says the lake is managed for those fish.
Exactly.
And then it goes on to say, of those two fish, the smallmouth bass excels. Now, that's just a relative thing. It's not saying that the smallmouth bass fishing is great. It says compared to the lake trout fishing, it's great.
And I would probably agree with that.
I would probably agree with that, too, because there are two smallmouth bass in that lake and only one lake trout.
And I'm sure that's accurate. In fact, I would bet you there's a study somewhere that indicates that. So here's how we know this. Now, my friend Vinny and I... Vinny and I have been trying to catch lake trout in that lake all fall. We've been about 7 times out. We've landed one fish, had 3 hookups, and that's it. Now, this time of year on a good lake trout lake, like Tim Moore fishing at Winnipesaukee, you're catching 20 and 30 fish a trip.
Yeah.
And for us, one fish is way exciting.
Right,
really
exactly.
Exciting. Yeah. So this past Monday, Labor Day, I decided to get as many people on the water as I could with as much electronics as possible to really find out once and for all, are the lake trout in that lake stacked up like cordwood like in other lakes?
Right.
So, with me on this trip, Vinny came again. Nick from Diana's Bath Salts, the guitar player from that band, came. Mm-hmm. Rich Collins, fish nerd friend, came. And superfan Ryan Dubé came. And everyone had fish finders in their boats.
Yeah, it was like a Navy operation, a naval operation.
Yes. And we're paddling out to the spot, and all I hear is Ryan saying, I've never seen a lake with less fish in it. Using the finder. It's like, I don't see anything. There's just water here. And sure enough, for about 3 hours, all we caught was water.
It's pretty water.
It's beautiful, wet water, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to pee. And I can't pee outside of the boat because I'm pee shy. So we paddled up to a little island, and I'm going to the bathroom on the island, and it's in a shallow, rocky area. And Ryan says, I'm going to switch to bass lures now. And he looks at his sonar, and he goes, I see one on a hump. And he drops a jig down, and boom, a monster smallmouth bass right there.
Oh, cool.
I got great shots of him catching it on his. He'll be happy if I say on his Feel Free kayak.
Oh, why would he be happy about that?
I guess he's a rep for them.
Yeah, pro staff.
Pro staffer, yeah. So, and even the paddle, he was telling me about the paddle, and I have no idea. I forgot what he said about the paddle, but I guess it's really good. So,
okay.
That's all I know about it. And a cool boat.
It paddles.
Whatever. So he caught a fish, and he caught the only fish that now at this point in the day is the only fish we saw, and he kept saying things. Hey guys, is this a good fish? And we're all like, yes, Ryan, it's a good fish. But I mean, for New Hampshire standards, is this good? I don't know, because I don't know. And you're like, it's like when you play poker with someone who's never played before, and they go like, I got 10 kings. Is that a good hint? You know, no? 10 kings?
Is it really? I don't know. I've never done this before.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just maybe just winning. Did I win? Huh? Yeah, I got $1 million. Yeah. So, anyway, and then coming into shore, we had to go home because my wife had strep throat. Coming in, Vinny was casting spinnerbait. You know, those big giant, bass spinnerbaits, the Lady Gaga looking thing.
Oh yeah, like with the big rubber skirt and all.
Exactly. Caught a monster rainbow trout at the boat ramp.
At the boat ramp.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that was our day. It was terrible. So we put the lake to bed. We decided it's not a good place to fish.
Yeah, but that's not going to stop you.
No, because someone told me it's a good place for burbot in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And you're a sucker.
It's such a pretty place. It's the only deep lake close to my house.
It is an incredibly beautiful lake.
And I just think if I could just figure out where on that lake the fish live, I'm going to win.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not going to win, Dave.
I think it was amazing. You took the Navy flotilla out, and it was on Labor Day weekend, and it didn't look like it was all that busy out there.
Well, because everyone else has fished it, and they know there's no fish there. Like, why are they going to get up early? We were gone by 8:00. So all the recreational boaters are out, at 10 after breakfast because there's nothing to wake up early for there. What's the point?
It is.
I'm going to get up early and look at loons. You can look at them all day. So.
Well, yep. I think you gave it the best shot, though. I mean, hauling all those great fishermen out with sonars. So maybe you're just
and I got a sonar too, and it's the kind that hooks up to a trolling motor.
Oh yeah. And
so what I did was I took the mount for his trolling motor and I hooked it to a soda bottle, and I threw it in the water next to the boat, and because like a portable sonar now. Yeah. Yeah, it worked perfect.
Nice. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Way to DIY it.
Oh, and then I took it and I put it in the boat while we were paddling around. Yeah. And it turns out the sonar can shoot right through the boat's hull anyway. Like it was all.
Oh.
Yeah. Seemed like a good idea. Completely unnecessary. You can just drop it in a pot of water, bowl of water on the deck of the boat. Work fine.
And you'd be good. Oh wow. So yeah, very good.
I should have read the directions.
Directions, shumections.
That's right. Anyway, so how about you? Been fishing?
I have been. I went fishing with Hermione.
Oh, from Harry Potter.
Yeah, no, it was the tropical storm that came up, and I guess it's pronounced Hermione. That's how the Noah people pronounce it.
Yeah, no, Noah also pronounces Noah. So.
That's true. So, but it was the remnants of Hermione, which is, I guess, 250 miles offshore now. But it's blowing in big, big waves, like 9-footers off the coast.
So, did you surf?
I didn't, but there were people out there surfing, and I tell you, there's few harder core people than New England surfers. Well,
because they dedicate themselves all summer to surfing tiny waves.
Right.
And then the big waves come, and they're like 6-foot waves. Yeah. I mean, if we're being honest.
Well, and the amazing thing that gets me is they love to surf, like the real diehards, love to surf the nor'easters in the winter.
Oh, man.
And they all have wetsuits on, top to bottom. And I've seen them out there in a complete blizzard. Like they paddle offshore and you lose sight of them because it's snowing so hard.
Yeah.
And they're out there surfing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and they would laugh at us for ice fishing, the same thing. I mean,
I suppose, but it's not really. I mean, I really admire these folks. Yeah. Bunch of pot smokers, by the way.
I was going to say, you got to numb your brain a little bit before you head out there.
But anyway, I went out there. I was the only one fishing it because I had read that stripers really like when the whitewater comes in because it's kind of disorienting all the bait fish. And there's apparently a lip right where the big waves crash and hit the shore. It's like a little trough that is dug out that the stripers apparently go up and down.
Cool.
And I know. I was thinking, hey, that's cool. Well, I went out, I put on my waders because I didn't want to have to worry about getting wet, but I wasn't going to get in the water because I had no desire to die after getting, washed out to sea.
Right.
And it was really spectacular, I must say. The problem was it was so agitated, the water, that there was tons and tons of seaweed in the water. So I would get a cast off and I would be able to fish it maybe 20 seconds. And then it would just start to bog down. That sucks. Yeah, it did suck. But it was really impressive to be there. And some of these waves coming in would be well over your head, maybe 20 feet ahead of you. And they're cresting and they're crashing. And there was one, there's always this rogue wave, right? That there's normal wave, and all of a sudden this big one comes out of nowhere. And there was one that swamped me and almost dropped me down.
That's too bad. I was hoping it would knock you over.
It was very, very close. But the other thing I really like about this beach, and I didn't go to any of the sand beaches. I went to the Pebbly Rock Beach. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like, those rain sticks?
Yes.
Yeah, where you turn them over and they go click. Every wave sounded like that. The whole shore was basically moving and clattering and clacking. I can't imagine how loud it must have been underwater. But no fish, unfortunately.
No, that's kind of the story of your striper fishing this whole summer, isn't it?
It has been, except when I go with Tim Moore. We totally dialed in, right away. But this year I've been trying to fish a little warmer water than I think I ought to. But hopefully this fall it's going to turn around, and I'll be able to get them as they follow the herring, because there's a zillion herring. And the other interesting thing that's happened, so in my hometown they removed the dam.
Oh, damn!
I know, and the river it just dried up. With this drought that we're having.
Yeah,
there's like no water going down.
Is this the Squamscott or the Exeter?
Well, so it's the Exeter. It used to be the Exeter until it hit the dam, and then it became the Squamscott. Now it's the Exeter, and I guess where it's not tidally influenced. So it's right around the same spot.
Okay.
But remember where we caught that eel?
Yeah.
Where the cannons are in that park?
Mm-hmm.
There's no water there now.
Oh,
it's just gone.
Insane. Well, I guess that's what dams do, right? They hold water.
Yeah. And I went out there, I think it was yesterday, just to kind of survey the place and see it. And the place was crawling with metal detector people.
Oh, because that place has not been accessible for years.
Right.
Oh, and now it's full of garbage. They can find stuff.
They love it. And there are a few funnier people than metal detector people.
Yeah, Cousin Ron is a metal detecting nerd.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So
carries around a little shovel and.
Oh, he totally does. He wears shirts about metal detecting and all this stuff. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What would some of the slogans be? Like, you attract me, or.
No, his shirt he was wearing had two panels of cartoon. The first one had like a woman yelling at him,
mm-hmm.
and then the second one had him with headphones on, like a stick figure with headphones on and a metal detector, and it said "Problem solved."
Oh,
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
By the way, he's lucky to be married at all. Have that hobby.
Wait, lucky to be married at all with what?
With that hobby.
Oh,
that's a hobby you're supposed to pick up after you've closed a deal. Like, you don't go on Tinder and go, yeah, my hobbies include metal detecting and talking about metal detecting and right-wing politics. Like, that does not get you dates. Like, magic that he got married at all.
That's true.
He was doing these prior to being married.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Kept him single for years.
I bet it did.
Yeah. Think of the money he saved.
Well, I know. That's true. Until he met a woman that had lost something.
Oh, yes. Oh, finally. I lost my George Bush pin. Can you go find that for me? Sure.
Yeah, right. Hey, I love you.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, good for it. That's Uncle Ronnie or Cousin Ronnie?
Cousin Ronnie.
Oh, Cousin Ronnie.
Remember, he went out fishing during the quest. He was wearing that rancid hat.
absolutely remember Cousin Ronnie. Sang classic rock tunes the whole time.
Big karaoke guy.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy who goes to karaoke by himself with his own CDs. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Yeah. Like, how does he get married?
Well, they say there's a fish in the sea for everybody, I suppose.
I guess so. Well, anyway, I'm glad everyone's doing good.
Anyway, so that's the rundown from a long hiatus.
Effin' West.
Effin' West. I like those guys.
Yeah, Fish Guy Josh, the Amazing James from California. Fish Guy Josh went to Peru, Dave.
Oh, Peru.
Peru. That's somewhere south of New Jersey, and that exceeds my global knowledge at this point.
Although there's a Peru, Indiana.
I also don't know anything in the middle of the country. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Middle of the country. Who lives in Indiana? No one.
No one.
There's no ocean there.
That is true.
Yeah. So anyway, he went to Peru and he made a story for us.
Amazing.
That's crazy.
Naya utras takota markana chilanakana chipatwa. Naya utras takota markana wichanakana chipatwa. Hawil pampan utkasiri isla patan utkasiri.
So you can't hear me talking into the microphone right now, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing James.
Fish Guy Josh!
How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going good. How are you, man?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah?
It's been a very long summer.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Some good, some bad, but,
Yeah.
Strikes and gutters, ups and downs.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. Some of it's been fun. A lot of night surveys on the electrofishing boat. We're finishing up, we're kind of in the middle of stream surveys right now out in the creeks.
I've seen it. I've been approving the overtime.
I know. Well, actually,
you've been busy.
You've been approving the shift differential.
Sorry, the 25% shift differential.
I've been getting paid to work nights, basically.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
It is nice.
But it's been pretty tiring, but looking forward to a couple weeks here in the summer of just special projects and then gearing up for a mobile fish exhibit in the fall.
Miffy.
Yeah.
Yay, Miffy.
What you been up to besides Pokemon?
Besides Pokemon, collecting my Magikarp. That are, Oh, all the Pokemon people in my park, man.
Yeah.
Outside my bedroom window at 3 a.m. It's really exciting.
Yeah, there's no cell signal at my house.
You're very lucky. You're very lucky.
So there is no Pokemon Go.
No, I get the people that are drunk at like 2 a.m. running back between the Pokestops right outside my bedroom window, yelling, "Oh my God, a Magikarp!" You've
got a lot of people.
27 spots in the park. It's great.
It's 27. I thought it was like 12.
No, and they all said like, "Oh, it'll die off by the end of the summer." No, no, it's still going strong. Still going strong. Anyway, I've been collecting my fish beers.
Fish beers.
Fish beers.
As in like yellowtail, pale ale, etc.?
Yeah, that kind of stuff, yeah. Okay. I just decided it would be fun to collect beers that were named after fish.
So are you collecting the bottle, a six-pack? What's your...
I don't know.
Drinking
my strategy is just to collect them for now and then drink them all in one shot. Although I'm up to about like maybe 15 or 20, somewhere in there. Half of them are Ballast Point. So,
yeah, that was our... we had a very tropical fish theme for our wedding, Lauren and I. And
yes, you did.
The beers available at the bar were all Ballast Point, and they were all fish themed.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that, huh? Well,
I don't remember that.
You must have partaken in my...
I probably had a few too many of them.
That or my very popular groom's drink, the sweet tea vodka and lemonade.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, I do remember that somehow. I honestly, I am surprised I remember anything about that night. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I digress.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Onwards. What are we talking about?
We are finally getting to hear the piece I did out in Peru. Lauren and I took a trip out to the Florida Springs and piggybacked that right onto a group tour we've never done before, where you're out with a bunch of other people. And we went out to Peru. We explored a bunch of different areas. And this was the relevant Fish Nerds portion where we went to Lake Titicaca.
Like what?
And Titicaca.
Oh, okay.
And
Sorry, I just wanted to hear you say it again.
Yeah. The well, they actually they have a saying there that Peru is the Titi side and Bolivia is the Caca side.
Ooh.
Their little country rivalry.
Oh, that's messed up.
But this is some sound from the Uros, which are people that live on floating islands made of reeds. And basically, when the Incas were conquering all the other local tribes, they decided to not give in to the Incas, not pay the tax and join the tribe, but rather float away and live their life out on the island, which they still live on today.
I heard a rumor that Google's trying to do that.
Maybe, I don't know.
So you had this guide that was with you? I overheard
that. So Cesar was our guide. He's
Yeah.
a little hard to understand, so I'll may have to clarify a few things after each clip. But so first, he's going to tell us a little bit about the Totora reed, which is the reed that the Uros people survive because of.
Cool.
Okay, what these people need to build a floating island? They need this root to build a floating island. This is the root of the reed. This is the reed, Totora, we call the reed. This is the root. The people, they peel this. Like the banana, they say the banana of the floating island, they say. Many children, many people are living. All the people living in the high plateau, we eat this because this reed has a lot of iodine. Huh? This is like the lettuce. Huh? We can eat. Would you like to try?
The Totora reed. So this is what their whole life revolves around. So
Wait. Have you ever eaten cattail?
Cattail? No, I have not eaten cattail.
It's you know it's actually like it was also like a North American. I imagine it's kind of similar to this.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Basically, this is kind of like our local tule plants here on the coast.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a hollow reed. You crack it open as he's explaining, and you eat the inner white part.
Yep.
So they use this for everything. They eat it, like you said, kind of like their lettuce. It's how they get their iodine.
Mm-hmm.
They also, Lauren took a great picture. They place it on your head for headache. So they take the inner heart of the Totora reed, stick it on your head, and I put my hat over it and wore it all day, and that was supposed to alleviate any headaches I might get. So
that you might get.
Yeah, it's supposed to help once you have the headache, but I thought I'd cover my bases just in case.
Just in case, because you drank too much the night before.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they also, basically, once we learned about the reed's importance, Cesar went into the explanation of how it's actually used to make the islands.
Cool.
Two seasons here in the high plateau. The raining season and dry season. The dry season, which is from the April to November. The level of the water of this lake is low, so the root of the reed are attached to the bottom of the lake in the shallow part. In the rainy season, the level of the lake rises. The root of the reed come up, then the soil. The roots are floating. The people know that. They go to take once many pieces. All the roots I have found, I have together. It is one block, this is another block. And the people, they have to tie. She said my island has 16 blocks. This. In each block there is a one stick. And they tie.
They tie the root of the reed.
The root of the reed.
In the rainy season.
In the rainy season. So basically, this whole time, Cesar is translating the native language of their local. Each island has a president.
Mm-hmm.
So she is explaining to us. The presidents are women. They're always women.
I'm just not going to say anything. By not saying anything, does that mean I'm saying something?
Don't say anything.
Okay.
So she explains to us.
I'm glad we waited from February to do this. Timing's perfect. Go on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So she's explaining to us the process of building the island, and Cesar is translating that from his Native American, or I guess, Native American,
Native American, absolutely.
Native American language into English, which is his second language, or third language, actually.
Wow.
So it's a little rough to understand, but basically what he's saying is in the rainy season, these big root wads of the reed float.
You're a root
and that's
wad.
when they go. You're a root wad, and that's when they collect them, bring them to the island. They bind them together in these big blocks, and they're essentially creating like buoys to hold up the other parts of the island.
Yeah.
So he's explained that these blocks of the root masses, like I said, they're essentially the buoys for the island. And so now he's going to go into how they lay like massive layers of reeds across the blocks to actually form the island.
His family will bring the reed, and after we'll put on the island. First we put in this position, and after we will put in another position. Y después and after we have to play, said. We play the volleyball and the football, said. The soccer we play in here. To compact the island very well. To make the island. Yeah? And after we put the house, eh?
So, again, I'll translate for the translator. Basically, they take the upper portions of the reeds, now that they have their buoy blocks in place, and they start crisscrossing like massive stacks of these reeds. And then they literally play sports on them to smash down the reeds. And what you end up with, your final product, is they're literally these floating islands of reed mats that are held up deep underneath by, I think their island, I think she said they had something like 12 to 16 buoys that are just made of the actual root mass.
Right, and that's like 12 to 16 like games that they played. Like that's the coolest thing. They built their houses, playing soccer or something?
Well, they build the houses afterwards. What they're basically doing, they're making the flat land section of the island by literally playing sports on it.
Right.
And playing and having a good time and
How
running
cool
around
is that?
on it. And they
How
smash
cool
it
is
down.
that?
They're these
What's
people
wrong with
are
us?
like
We-
super stoked on life.
We don't do anything like that.
As poor as they seem or may be, and
Right.
sometimes you might feel bad for some of the things that you have that they don't. Cesar was really adamant about repeating just how much
Like they're
these
happy.
guys enjoy life.
Right.
Like they're happy because they literally broke off from society, even though it was ancient Incan society,
Sure.
and they just do their own thing.
Right.
And it was really interesting to hear how that process came about of building the actual island.
Question.
Yes.
How do they poop?
Funny you should ask that. That's a pretty common question when you see these people living on isolated floating islands. And
Well, actually, I should rephrase. Not how do they poop, but where do they poop?
well, Cesar will explain.
They have behind the house where grow the reeds, they have a small island. This is the baño, the small island. But to do the pee is on the island. Here they do the pee. This is like the filter. The island has 6 feet of 6 feet has of thickness. 3 feet is the root, another 3 is the reed. Has 6 feet. They do the pee, they don't have a problem. But to do the poo is in the small island. But these people, they make the fire with the reeds. I want to go to the baño. First, I have to take the ashes. I will take the boat, I will go to the baño. I did the poo. These ashes will put on the poo, and after with the reeds. No go to the lake, because these people, they use this water to prepare the lunch. They drink the water of the lake.
So wait, if I get this straight, they use the ashes from their fires to bury their poo on the island?
Not on their island. So
On their neighbor's island?
no. The
next door president.
That would be an act of war.
The next door president's island?
No.
Oh. We don't poop on other people's islands?
No.
Oh,
You don't
okay.
poop. Rule 1 of Uros Club is you don't poop on other people's islands.
Okay.
No, what they do is, like you said, the island itself, which again speaks to like how intricate this is. they're 3 feet of root wad and 3 feet of reeds. So they basically go number 1 on their home island, kind of off in the corner, and that naturally filters through all the reeds and roots.
Sure.
But then they literally make a single block floating outhouse that they tie off to their main island. They create ashes on their home island in their little cooking area where they have fire.
Mm-hmm.
They take those ashes with them to the outhouse
Yeah.
on the boat. They do their business. They put the ashes on top, and then they add reeds on top of that so that it all naturally decomposes within the reed island and not directly into the water.
So is that like more than 6 feet deep? Because it seems like it probably would be if they did that. I mean, how many people live on an island, and how many times a day does someone add to that?
Well, I'm sure they're annually replacing sections of their island, so I'm sure as an outhouse meets its end and it's slowly stacked with more reeds, they'll eventually just replace it. What they do with that, I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, I have all sorts of questions that I could ask that you probably don't.
As long as it's still floating, in theory, it's just going to continue to break down the waste.
Like, what if it doesn't float anymore? Like, what if it falls apart? Like, what do you do?
Then you probably don't drink the water from that particular channel.
For a long time. Did you drink any water while you were there?
Hell no.
I don't know how I'd feel about that.
Hell no. Okay, so we sort of hit up a brief history of the people and what they do. So let's get to the good stuff, the fish stuff.
The fish stuff.
So this was pretty interesting because everybody else on the tour with me was quite amused at how into fish I was.
Mm-hmm.
So they were pretty amused when they asked about questions, and I was like, okay, let me take over the question and answer.
Let me ask you this: this is in the mountains, right?
Yeah, this is way up in the mountains.
So it's not like Peruvian rainforest or anything like that.
No.
It's not. We're not going to see peacock bass.
This is a completely different climate than the
Sure.
coastal climate, but also from the Amazon area that's near Peru.
So it's actually, is it a really dry climate?
Yeah, really dry. Not a lot of big storms and waves on the lake itself. It's actually pretty calm.
Cool.
It's like an arid lake.
How deep is it?
Arid mountain. I don't recall offhand, but it's pretty deep in certain sections. Really deep.
And very large?
Very large. I mean, it's the border between Bolivia and Peru. A certain part of their border is the lake. But yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, so now he's going to actually go into some of the stuff regarding the fish.
Fish time.
Do you have any question about these people?
What kind of fishing do they like to do?
You saw in the magazine, did you see? In the magazine?
Yeah, in the fishing guide?
We call in our local fish, is in Aymara language, no in Spanish. We call harachi, ispi, suchi, umanto, kese, boa, chaulla, we call in general. All the fishes we call in Aymara language, we say chaulla. We call chaulla. Huh?
Chowia sounds like food, first of all, but was that actually you talking?
Well, me and Cesar, yeah.
Wow. You weren't sick or anything?
Maybe allergies. I don't know. It was pretty high up in the mountains.
Seriously? Like, I couldn't even tell it was
But yes,
you,
that was Fish Guy Josh commenting.
But
you could hear everybody laugh.
Yeah.
When they said, "Do you have any questions?" And I was like, "What kind of fishing do you do?" And the whole group laughed the whole time.
Because everyone knew that you were fishing.
Well, like I would wear a shirt with a fish on it like every day, and they were just like, "What's up with you and fish?"
Yeah.
So they were amused, but it was my chance to kind of ask what was going on. But Cesar actually made this guide, but he has this great guide about Uros and the local town there, and in it is this local fishes guide. And so he was going over the actual native names of those fish, but basically Lake Titicaca is made up of a lot of different species of pupfish, and then there's a few small catfish species, and that's really only the only native stuff that they have in the lake. So he was just kind of going over some of those actual names, and maybe when we send this in to our fish nerd overlords, we can scan a copy of the ID sheet.
You still have it? That's cool. Yeah, I'd be curious to see. I mean, obviously, catfish would be in just about any part of the world.
Yeah, really tiny catfish, kind of like Mad Toms.
That's cool.
But yeah, it was really cool.
Pupfish, any color to them at all, or
a lot of different colors? Yeah, because they all had the similar names.
Yeah.
And it was all just you could tell the difference by color.
That's awesome.
So basically, he talked about the local fish, and then next Cesar went into the types of introduced fish that they have there on the lake, and he also explained a little bit about the difference, the different food preferences of food fish between the tourist and the locals.
I was gonna say, like, you know, do they eat the little mad Tom like catfish?
He'll explain.
Really?
Yeah.
We have a trout. The trout was introduced from Canada to the Lake Titicaca. The trout. Kingfish from Argentina to the Lake Titicaca. This is the local fish. We eat the local fish. Yeah? We eat. They don't eat the tourists. The tourists don't eat the local fish because this local fish has many bones stuck in your trout. But if you go to the Lima Street in the center of Puno, I would like to eat the fish. Oh, only we have the trout or kingfish, no local fish. Because the local fish has many bones. But in Cusco, in the Lake Titicaca, we eat a lot of trout, fish the lake. But no guinea pig. The favorite, the typical dishes from Cusco is the guinea pig. No? In Cusco, they eat a lot of guinea pig. Yeah. We have in the Lake Titicaca. How much 1 kilo of the chaulla, the local fish, is the 5 soles. How much 1 kilo of trout is 12 soles.
Wow. Okay, so let me get this straight. You go there, you want local fish to eat. They won't give it to you.
No, the restaurants don't really serve the local pupfish.
Right.
It's more of a, you can go to a market maybe.
Right.
And find where local fishermen are
And
bringing
then,
them.
And then trout is 12 times as expensive as the local fish.
Yeah, the trout and the kingfish, which are imported,
Wow.
they're solely used to feed tourists. They're not really, I mean, locals can buy them as well, but they're so expensive, the locals usually stick to the local fish rather
Right.
than pay that extra money for a trout.
Right, I can
Yeah.
imagine. So did you get to try any of the local stuff at all?
I didn't get to try it. They didn't have any prepared, but they had some. They had a couple in a bowl of water for me, dead, just so I could see them.
Oh, wow.
And that was, we'll get into it later, but that's they use it for other purposes besides.
I think
just
you
eating
told me
as well.
about this. Yeah, we'll get to that.
So basically, after Cesar was the culture of the Uros to us, we got to traditional boats to go visit sort of the Main Street island. So
Cool.
it's kind of the tourist island where there's a hotel, which is just a giant hut, and then a restaurant, which is another giant hut. And on the way there,
Sounds like a really hip place.
it's a hit place to be. On the way there, one of the elderly women of the island that we were on,
Yeah.
she was the one actually rowing the boat, and it was really cool because
An old lady rode your boat around for you?
yeah, and she was struggling a little bit too, and they wouldn't let us help. Like, we were kind of on this elevated platform, and
Yeah.
her and one of the younger girls
Yeah.
were each had a giant paddle, and they were
Wow.
rowing. Yeah,
Wow.
and but it was cool because
Can't you say that's badass? That's not
Yeah.
cool. That's badass.
yeah, and so Lauren, my wife, speaks really good Spanish, so. She and the elderly lady got to just sit there and sort of have this conversation. Like,
Yeah.
she started asking Lauren questions, and once she realized Lauren could speak her language, they just, the whole time we were paddling, they were talking. And
That's cool.
so she got to talk to Lauren a little bit and actually dive a little deeper into the fishing culture. And she was also really interested to hear that Lauren and I worked with fish as well.
No solo de eso nomás vivían, del huevo, del pez. Ellos chapaban truchas grandes. Ellos
¿Qué
comían-
sitio de truchas?
Sí, trucha grande.
¿Grande como esto?
Sí,
¿Sí,
grande.
de veras?
Sí.
Wow. They get some big trout. Él le pregunté, ¿qué usa para pescar?
Para pescar harto red.
¿Sí?
Harto red tienes que tener. Si tienes poquito red, no hay pez. Solo 5 pesos más.
Big nets. You only get a few. Like bass. Yeah.
¿Usted qué trabaja?
¿Mande?
¿Qué trabaja usted?
¿O ¿Qué me haces para trabajar?
Sí, ¿en qué trabaja?
Sí, trabajo con peces. Como trucha. Sí. Y él también. Sí.
El también.
Yeah.
Yep.
she Yeah, she was like super stoked to hear that we worked with fish,
Right.
and like Lauren was saying,
You guys both work with fish, and you work
and
with
she
trout.
specifically works with trout,
Right.
so she was really interested to hear that. She was super cool. It's amazing once you realize somebody speaks your language. Like
Right.
it
Open
wasn't
doors.
just I'm paddling, putting on a show.
Yeah.
She was legitimately like interested in hearing about us,
Yeah.
and she started asking us about when we got married and how
Right.
old we were, and
It makes a huge difference. I've always found it. Like,
yeah, she was super cool.
Yeah.
But we so basically we slowly paddled over to the main street island,
Yeah.
and when we got there was a fish pen, which I thought was super cool. So again, like I pulled Cesar to the side and kind of took over the tour to ask him what was going on.
Well,
now, this, as kind of a sidebar, you can actually check out if you go to the Fish Guy Josh YouTube page.
Mhm.
There is a video called Trucha de los Uros.
This is when you're feeding them?
And this is when I'm feeding the Trout Farm.
Yeah.
And so when I came across that, they were really amazed that the GoPro could go underwater. And so they all gathered around to watch me film them, and then afterwards Cesar explained to me a little bit about what was going on with the Trout Farm.
And what was the trout farm for?
This is the restaurant. This is the trout
So
farm.
they have their own trout farm on the floating island?
Senor, I need this trout, no? With the basket it takes out.
Oh, can we look at the farm?
Right, yeah.
Do they catch the trout
Yeah.
and put them in here, or do they raise them as babies?
But in Chucuito, in the south of Puno, there is a piscicultura. The excess of the trout
Uh-huh.
and the baby they buy. One small trout is the 20 cents. 20 cents, 10 cents.
For the small trout?
Small trout.
Okay.
They put in the small, and after will arrive the adult, no?
So they buy the small young trout and bring them here?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Here there are two. Trout and kingfish.
Kingfish?
The kingfish is the small and the big is trout. You can see it? There are two, huh?
And these were brought to Peru, not from Peru?
If
They're not native to Peru?
No, it's from trout is from Canada.
From Canada?
Argentina was the kingfish.
Oh, okay. Because you said they prefer to eat their local fish?
Because has many bones, our
Yeah.
local fish, and the trout they don't have. They don't have a lot of bones, no?
So these fish are for the tourists?
Yeah, it's the more only.
And they eat the local fish?
Yeah.
What do they feed the trout?
Sorry?
Tipo de comida para los
But
truchas.
we have normally the people they cut local fish
Oh,
pieces.
okay.
They cut
Okay.
this
Oh, so they catch local fish and put them in there?
normally. Yeah.
Okay.
Another they put this. Right? Look, this is the local fish.
What's the name of this local fish?
Karachi.
Karachi? This is the main one they
Wild
catch?
man. Yeah. Look at that. Huh? In pieces when the trout is the 24 centimeter. With a knife they cut it.
Okay, now time out. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say, they're cutting up their local native fish to feed the non-native trout for the tourists.
Yeah, because they
And the
can't.
kingfish.
It's not like
Yeah, they're not going to be
they
ordering
can't
spreading
afford, like,
stuff or whatever.
trout kibble.
Right. Yeah.
So what they do is they use small nets
Mhm.
to catch the local fish, and then some of it they keep for their own food.
Is there a
and then
big?
some of it they chop up. So basically, it was you can hear in the background at
Yeah.
the end there. That was the sound of them feeding the fish, and you can hear this like bag wrapper, and it's just this plastic bag, and it was full of little
Chopped
chunks
up little
of pupfish,
pupfish, yeah.
the caracha. So the caracha are all the different species of pupfish
Right.
they have. So there's like a common one they get, and they literally throw it in as food.
I mean, yeah. No, I get it. I mean, a part of me, like the environmentalist part of me, or I should even say just ecologist part of me, says like, wow, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Like here we are feeding native fish to non-native fish for the tourist industry.
Because
and that place, like I'm sure, like the tourist industry is probably a very good thing for these people.
Yeah, very good.
But at the same time, it's like when I went to the Galapagos and the place is inundated with people.
Yeah.
And it's like, go now before it's gone,
Yeah.
because it's
They're
the wildlife, everything is just going to disappear.
Yeah,
over time.
the Uros basically the majority of their livelihood now is tourism.
Yeah.
They don't do a lot of the traditional things they used to do. The fishing and stuff is very. I mean, I was hoping it'd be a really big part of their culture, but fishing is not huge in their culture. Their traditional way to gather food is a lot of the local waterfowl.
Sure.
They go hunting in these canoes and gather eggs.
Oh.
So and some of the eggs they actually raise kind of like chickens.
Yeah.
To basically be their livestock. So
Wow.
fishing isn't a huge part of it. The trout farm isn't a huge part of what they're doing. So
Sure.
this isn't like the main.
It's strictly for the tourists. So.
Yeah, and even then, it's not a huge part of what they do for tourists. So
Right.
I mean, it's unfortunate that they're using these little pupfish
Yeah.
to feed the trout. But I mean,
Well, use what you got.
within that whole
Sure.
community of island people, they had one small 12 by 12 net pin full
Right.
of trout and kingfish. So
Yeah,
there
it's
was
nothing
one
huge,
pin
but-
for that whole society they
Right,
were using.
right.
Yeah, correct. But it was still, it was really interesting. It was a really cool video I got to.
So wait, did you have trout?
I did in town.
Huh.
Like some of the one of the restaurants was serving
And it likely came from that pond, or
Actually, no. That pond is just for their little island restaurant.
Gotcha.
So it probably came from either fishermen that catch the wild trout.
Island restaurant, like on a floating island?
Yes.
No shit.
It was their little hut for their restaurant. So you
That's-
can go there, pay extra to sleep on that particular Main Street island,
yeah.
sleep in the hotel, and then walk across the island to the restaurant, and you can order a trout, and they go in there and net it out of the pen
Is there
and cook it right there.
Jess would ask, like, does the hotel have a swimming pool? I mean, obviously
it's
it
got
does, right?
Lake Titicaca. That's about it.
Yeah.
So as long as
Okay.
you're not swimming by the bathroom raft, I think you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think we can make that work.
Yeah. So so on our way home, I wanted to try and get a little more info out of him about fishing and the local fish culture, because like I said, that wasn't a big part of the tour. So I managed to get a little one-on-one time with Cesar to discuss the fish ID guide he gave me, and he even clued me in on a little bit of their local hangover treatment. However, I will preface this clip by saying at this point we were in the cabin of the boat on the way back to the mainland.
That's not a good place to have a hangover.
No, not at all. A lot of fumes going on that boat. But so you'll hear a lot of background noise of the boat engine. So I apologize for that. But
Ralphing and all that other stuff.
it is what it is. So so you'll kind of have
Well,
trouble hearing some of what he's saying, but hopefully you'll be able to make it out.
The local fish, no? This is only the local fish. No trout, no kingfish. It's the maximum is the 24 centimeters.
What are the names of some of those?
Is this suche?
Suche?
Suche.
Oh, the truth right there,
This
suche.
is the Maori.
Which was the one that they were catching and feeding to the trout? This
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, this is this and this they cut in the pieces. All of these local fish. It's cheaper, no, it's only 5 cents 1 kilo, no, of the local fish.
Do they sell the fish in
Yeah,
Puno?
Puno they sell.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, every days they carry the fish to Puno. But in Puno there is a market where make the fish soup. We call over Hanover. Hanover?
Hamano?
Hanover. Normally when the person
Hangover. Hangover.
Hanover.
So they
Very
make
good.
a fish soup from the local fish for the hangover?
Yeah, it's very good.
Fish soup hangover treatment? That
Apparently.
sounds more like a hangover problem. That is gross.
I guess it depends on
No.
whether
no.
or not you like fish soup.
No. That's a no. Big fat bowl of nope.
Well, have you had pupfish soup?
Have you?
No, but I also didn't have a hangover on Lake Titicaca. But if I did, I'd
You
be
would-
open to try it, I guess.
I don't know how I'd feel about that. Like, you might be leaving a bit of yourself in Lake Titicaca.
People on the islands go out to the lake to fish, or do they only fish the small
They go
local fish?
out 5 kilometers. They go outside to put the fish net.
Oh, they have larger fish nets that they use for the trout?
Yes.
Okay.
This is, see you standing 45 minutes from tuna we have this funeral.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love the fish pictures because we're very interested in fish.
And
We're very interested.
we're very interested in fish.
You don't say. This guy's probably like, what is with this dude and his wife?
He was really cool about it, especially because it was his guide we were going through.
Right.
So we also got to talk to Captain Wilbur, our captain of our particular boat. He's an Uros local, and he got to tell us a little bit about his favorite ways to eat the local fish.
Este es más grande para todos los pescados aquí. Pescados locales.
Locales, sí.
Ah, okay.
Y es un poco pequeño.
Okay.
Es más grande.
¿Y qué es bueno para comer?
Favoritos, carachos humanos.
Este.
Sí. Es mucha espina. Tiene mucha espina.
Mucha
Espina.
Ah, the bones? Ah.
You speak pretty darn good Espanol.
Well,
I mean, I know why.
Yeah, well, for all the people in Fish Nerd Land out there, the background to that is
he was actually a drug lord.
Yeah, I was a Mexican
diving drug lord.
No,
yes. He took care of their grow out times.
I spent about a year and a half, almost 2 years in Baja, Mexico, working on a tuna farm there. I was performing experiments with striped bass and yellowtail and net pins on this giant tuna farm. And I was the only representative of my company out there, so I got to go live in Baja during the week and just hang out with all these Mexican divers. And I didn't speak the language going there, so a lot of my Spanish is really rough and crude. But
no, but I'll say something, and your wife might not appreciate this, but you have a better accent.
It may be a better accent, but my grammar and conjugation is terrible.
That's okay.
But I get by.
Yeah, seriously, you're doing good.
To the soup is good. This, but to the soup, no. This is good to only to fry.
To fry?
If you fry this, no, probably the head is big, no. But we make the soup with this. But to fry it is good. We eat all with the balls.
Oh, you eat them all?
No.
Have you ever had like deep fried whole small fish before?
Yeah, I went to the UC Davis party hosted at Peter Moyle's house, and it was
Delta smelt.
It was Delta smelt. It was fish of the Sassoon Marsh was the theme.
That's cool.
So like I made etouffee with the local little tiny shrimp there.
Yeah.
But one of the things was whole fried inland silver sides.
Yeah, that's what we used to have. So back where I grew up on Long Island, I would go out to the beaches in the summertime, and the Latino families would be down there, and they'd use like 100-foot seines, and they would pull in tons of snapper, which not everyone calls them snapper, but baby bluefish, and silver sides, and they just fry them right up on the beach, like right there.
Yeah,
and
it's okay.
It kind of freaked me out as a kid because I didn't really understand like that was okay, but I tried it and I was like, wow, that's pretty darn good. I really like deep fried smelt. I mean, anything that's deep fried is tasty, right?
Of course.
Right.
So this final clip, this is just basically still we're on the boat here, and this is Cesar finishing up the conversation, just talking about the ecological impact the non-natives have on Lake Titicaca.
And the only other fish are kingfish and trout?
Yeah, no, the problem is the trout is in the lake. It's a flea.
Oh, they're free to
But the problem, we saw the net. What's happened if you don't give the food to the trout? And the trout will cut the net.
Oh, so the trout will bite through the net and leave?
Yeah, leave to the legs. We leave to the lake Titicaca. But because in everywhere we have trout farm.
They escape a lot?
But the problem is the trout will eat the local fish.
They eat the local fish? Yeah. That's the problem everywhere.
It's a good thing those trout taste good.
Yeah.
6 continents later.
But not here.
Not here. Not a
Here
problem
we
here.
strive to actually conserve the disappearing native
The native
population.
rainbows, yeah.
But anyway, so that's it. The Uros.
Cool trip.
The floating island people of Lake Titicaca.
Very cool stuff.
It was an awesome trip. This was we were pretty burnt out by the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
Really burnt out actually, and
Sounds
ready
like
to
you
be
were getting
home.
sick, yeah.
And it was awesome because this was by far the coolest part of all of Peru for Lauren and I were these guys, and this was the very last thing we did. So we really did get to end it on a high note.
Not going to say I'm not jealous of your trip.
I wouldn't blame you. It was a pretty fun trip.
Man.
But so I have one little final segment here just to kind of send us off with some of Cesar's final words on the people themselves.
Cool.
And an actual goodbye from the tribe to us. So this is Fish Guy Josh.
And this is Amazing James.
And this is Effin' West.
Okay, these people, they are living on the floating island because they didn't want to pay the tax to the Inca. They decided to build on the floating island, no? And actually, these people, they are free. Are free.
Oh, todos a la playa. Oh, oh, hasta la vista, baby.
Fish in the news.
I love fish in the news.
I love fish in the news too. We got some good ones. I know we have a lot. Yeah, it's weird. It comes in phases. Sometimes there's just no good fish in the news, and then other weeks it's like a plethora.
And would you say I have a plethora of fish news?
I
Do you know what a plethora is?
It sounds kind of dirty, but it's not. It just means we got a lot.
The way I use a plethora, it's dirty.
Well, it depends if you use a latex plethora.
I go
So this first one comes to us from a longtime fan, Jeff Donaldson.
Yeah, I like that guy.
Yeah.
He's the artist, right?
No, I don't think so. Was he the librarian?
Librarian. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the librarian. He's the nerd librarian, I
haven't
think.
heard from him in a long time.
I know. And this came in on our Fish Nerds podcast page, which if you're out there, ask to sign up to the Fish Nerds page. You know, you'll get approved, and that's where all the real hep cats are.
We only approve hep people. You know, Dave, there's famous people on there too.
Like who?
Well, I don't want to sell them out, but if you pay close attention, you're going to see famous scientists on there, authors, all kinds of people are hiding on that page. And so you can be interacting with artists and scientists and all kinds of nerds. So,
yeah, you know, I am gonna call one out here.
Okay, go ahead.
Gwyneth Paltrow is one of them.
Oh yes, and
Yes.
Angelina Jolie is on there
I know.
under
I
her
know.
pseudonym, Jeff Donaldson.
Right. Right, exactly. It's right. And so Angelina actually sent us this.
That's right. This is from Angelina Jolie. By the way, I saw an internet meme about her committing suicide last week.
Oh no.
Yeah, this will be like the 5th time I've seen that one this year. Don't worry, it's
Okay,
not
well.
true.
It's not true. She has not done that for 5 times. in a
No,
row.
but people who share it are really sad when they share it. And they
Well, I
always
guess-
seem disappointed when you share the Snopes link.
Yeah. Well, I guess it is nice to have people like, miss you. I suppose that's good.
Yeah.
So this one comes from BuzzFeed News.
The only place fit for fish news.
It's true. There's a lot of it there. And this says a man was arrested after allegedly fishing for prescription drugs.
Well, who hasn't done that? How does one fish for prescription drugs?
Well, I think it's all in the gear.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you have to pick the right lures, of course.
Right. And what lure would you use?
I would probably use the goofball Twizzler.
The goofball for prescription drugs. What I would use is a bent spoon.
Oh, ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Nice. So you can cook it. Yeah, very good.
Exactly.
The subtitle here is the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office said the man stole drugs from a drop box from expired medications by using a fishing hook.
Oh, that's hardly stealing.
I think you're right. Otherwise, all fishermen would be called theft, like stealing.
Right.
Right. It sounds like it was a game of chance.
No, he was trash picking.
Yeah.
Like it was a drop box for expired medication, right?
Right.
So how's that stealing?
Yeah, I know. It seems like
so anytime a homeless guy reaches in a trash can and has a hamburger, is he stealing?
It depends if he's fishing for it. Did he have a license to fish for it?
Oh, that's what this is about. It's about proper licensing.
I think he probably didn't have a oxycodone license.
I didn't. Well, he's in a random medicine box, really. So he could be just as easily getting codeine as, birth control pills.
Right.
He's gonna eat whatever comes out of there.
Right.
I admire him.
Right. Well, the birth control is considered trash fish in this situation.
Well, but if you're hungry enough.
If you're hungry enough, and if you take enough, I suppose it gives you a buzz.
Right. And most of the pills, people peel labels off these things. So you got only one way to know what they do. I'm going to take some birth control, some Xanax, some Lexapro. Whatever.
I don't know. What's Lexapro?
I don't know. I'm just making lists.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well done.
Benadryl.
Yeah. Benadryl.
I'm really sleepy right now, and I can feel my boobs growing.
Yeah. Woo! It's Friday night.
Yeah! Party time.
So the story, I don't know if we need to read the story. I think we pretty much got it. The guy's name was Christian Glooby.
Uh-huh.
He's 46. Isn't that a sad claim to fame?
Well, I'm looking at the photo of him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look 46.
I know. He looks, what do you think, older, right?
I'm thinking 66, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're fishing for prescription drugs. And I wonder if he was dead sticking. Like, was he so stupid that he just put it there and wait for it to, to bite back?
Probably. Well, no, he was in possession, so he got him.
Yeah, he did. He did get some. So he was charged with petty theft, possession of burglary tools, prowling.
Now, Dave, burglary tools.
Yes.
Let's have a talk about that. I'm looking at a photo of his burglary tools.
Yes.
I'm guilty.
I know.
Yeah.
We have burgling tools as well.
Yeah, it looks like a Albie Mac, Daddy Mac jig.
Yeah,
and
it does.
A little bit of fishing line. That's it.
It's exactly what it looks like.
Exactly what's in my truck right now.
Well, maybe you should be investigated for Dropbox. And actually, maybe we're just really low budget. We go to like the closed drop-off boxes and try to fit stuff out of there.
All right, if I get a bra, I win.
Winner!
Screw you, Planet Aid.
So pretty much they spotted the guy doing this and they went, hey, stop it. And they arrested him. It says the guy, Coolby, used a fishing hook and a cord to pull syringes and drugs from the box. Ooh, syringes. Oosh. At the time of his arrest, deputies took into custody a variety of drugs as well as the homemade fishing rig. He was booked into jail on a $2,500 bond.
Wow. Now, if he had $2,500, he wouldn't be stealing the drugs.
I know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think if you want them that bad,
yep,
in a free society, look, he's so sad looking. Let him have drugs. Give the guy a break.
Especially the drugs that nobody wants.
Right. Who's he hurting?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I agree. Live free or die.
Yeah, I'm voting for Gary Johnson. Screw this.
That's the libertarian candidate, right?
That's right. Well, he would be in support of this guy catching his own drugs.
He would.
Yeah.
Especially people always complain that, drug addicts are lazy. At least this guy had some initiative, right?
He wasn't stealing from people.
I know.
He wasn't hurting anybody.
I know.
And he wanted some drugs.
And he was even giving the drugs a fair chance.
I think he's an environmental hero.
I think so, too. He's reuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should go do school programming.
I think so, too. I think he should do seminars at Bass Pro Shop.
Excellent. That's a great idea. I'd go to that one. I would so go to that one. Like most fishing seminars, I'm not going to sit through, but that's one, I'm there. Man. So here's how you get drugs from a trash can. Seminar 2. Here's how you get drugs from a garbage can. Seminar 3. Operation Medicine Cabinet. Prescription drug drop-off. Here's how you die.
But you'd have to title like, the top 10 secrets for getting drugs out of,
Oh, I'm seeing
trash cans.
clickbait here now.
Yeah, clickbait kind of stuff. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
All right, so that's.
sad.
I think we've squeezed every bit of information out of that. So.
I'm looking at his picture. I just feel I want to hug him.
I know, and it is. It is very sad because, like I said, if that's what he's going to be, his claim to fame is, because I bet that's it. I bet that's the only time he's ever made it in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for that.
Oh, man.
So,
Well,
I know, it's very sad.
I'm betting he's single.
Yeah, and I bet he's a metal detector.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah, exactly. So, Jeff, thank you so much for sharing that Fish in the News. You were right. It was perfect Fish in the News.
It's sad.
It is sad, but perfect. The next one comes from Gizmodo.
Yeah.
And Gizmodo had a couple of them, actually. This first one reads, Scientists create robotic Terminator to hunt Darwin's nightmare fish. Is that an awesome title or what?
A very good title, and I don't know what that means.
That's just kick-ass title is what that is.
Yeah.
So the story reads, hordes of lionfish have been roaming the Atlantic for several decades.
Right.
But they lack natural predators.
Why aren't they called Pride?
That's a good point. Yeah. That's a good point. Or whatever the,
A weem away, a weem away.
The lionfish stings tonight.
You just use the words. Hordes of lionfish been roaming the Atlantic for several decades. Yeah.
Anyway.
They have operation. Never mind. Yeah, let's stop.
Yes, we should stop. Now there's a new foundation devoted to building robots to hunt them down.
Oh, I love this.
So the prototypes are under development, are technically cousins to robotic vacuum cleaners.
Because it's from iRobot, right?
Right, exactly.
I used to have a Roomba.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's what happened to it, because I would think that would be awesome.
It is awesome, but then they break.
And
then they end up sitting around for years because you don't want to throw away such an expensive piece of tech, but what do you do with it?
That's true. When it breaks, it breaks.
That's right. We're going to call iRobot up. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, maybe you can augment it to be a lionfish killer.
Well, as you read this story, I'm gonna in my head make comparisons to my robot.
Oh, okay. So it goes quickly into lionfish have been dubbed Darwin's nightmare because they are tremendously adaptable.
It's true.
And they are flexible in what they eat.
Wait a minute. Darwin's nightmare?
I know. You would think it would be Darwin's dream.
You want to talk about a winning animal? A nightmare would be a panda. It doesn't belong on this planet anymore.
That's true.
Like, we just need to get rid of them. Stop wasting our efforts on them. They don't want to be here. They want to eat bamboo and not have sex. Screw them. Like, would you want to hang out with anyone who just eats bamboo and doesn't want to have sex? They're just no fun. Like,
I don't care how cute they are.
I know. Like, I've dated women like that. No, I'm just eating some bamboo. Okay, well, let's at least have sex. Well, no, I'm too busy growing hair in weird places. All right. Maybe you don't want to reproduce.
I know. That would be Darwin's nightmare.
Yeah. God. Some hippie chick listen to fish.
I know.
Yeah.
So they say...
Fish and eat Ben and Jerry's. You're never going to get any.
So lionfish are terrible, and they have venomous spines, which discourage predators, right? So that's where we're at with these.
Right.
But then the story goes on. It says, the only thing we could do is to try to eat them, said marine biologist Christy Wilcox.
Oh, they're all in on the eating these fish. I love it.
Yeah, they are all in. Because they are venomous as opposed to poisonous, so they got that right. Mm-hmm. They are perfectly edible.
Right.
So the trick is just to cut out that venom, and you're good to go.
Perfect. So what's this robot?
So the robot, see, blah, 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 blah. Okay. That's where Rise is, and that's the name of the company now. That's the iRobot, only different. It's called Rise. Prototype robotic harvester comes into play.
Cool.
The first model uses a pressure-powered spear gun to humanely hunt the lionfish. And it'll start field testing this month. They have a second prototype that is designed to zap the lionfish with electricity.
Cool. Pre-cooking them.
I know. And that has a robotic arm rigged with 2 metal electrodes to do that.
Oh, I love it. Look at the drawing of that thing.
I know. Isn't that awesome?
Spaceship come with missiles and electricity and lightning bolts. It's really cool.
I know. The 2 prototypes include video cameras so that pilots can guide the robots through the water, and with the ultimate goal to build an autonomous underwater robot to hunt lionfish.
That's a job, Dave. Someone has a job driving a robot catching fish.
No, murdering lionfish.
I need to talk to that person. Do they wear a pith helmet?
I can only assume that, and they have an eye patch.
Oh, and they're going on a safari every day.
I know.
Oh, we have to find one of those people.
Wouldn't that just be awesome? They ought to team up with Xbox and just have a bunch of pimply-faced teenagers go out and kill lionfish.
God, think of the money they would save.
I know.
They should ask us before they do anything from now on. Man.
They would make money on that adventure.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Kill the lionfish.
Love it. Man, that's cool.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
The last story comes from Gizmodo 2.
Gizmodo.
Researchers turned fish scales into a renewable power source.
Really? They burn them?
Yes. No. It's even more bizarre than that.
Okay.
So it talks about, so the story goes, we eat fish and throw away the scales. But now researchers have figured out a reason those fish scales might be worth saving. So a new paper in Applied Physics Letters today details a method for transforming fish scales into an energy harvester. Researchers process the raw scales to make them flexible and then attach 2 electrodes to each scale before laminating them.
Every scale is laminated individually?
Yes. The resulting cell could then harvest energy from movement around it, including motion as simple as just vibrations or even a heartbeat.
Wow.
The goal is the researchers suggest that they could one day use this as a power source for pacemakers.
What?
Yes.
So, wait a minute. I'm visualizing this. So you have a pacemaker, and they take a patch of skin on your arm and replace them with wired up electrodes hooked up to fish scales.
No. They put the fish scales that have been laminated and treated, and they actually have a cool name for these things. They're called biopiezoelectric nanogenerators.
Ah, that's awesome. What a great name.
What a great name.
Yeah.
And so they would put that near the heart. So when the heart beats, it causes the scale to flex, which causes electricity, which charges the pacemaker and makes the heart beat again.
Wow. You could never die.
You could never die. This is like a Tony Stark kind of thing.
That's totally cool. Wow. So,
and that's from wasted fish scales.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
God, I didn't expect that.
I know. Isn't that incredible?
It's really cool.
And just imagine if you use scales like gar scales, super tough ones.
Right. That's what I was kind of thinking. I was thinking, okay, you want to really be efficient, go big, right?
Right. Go big.
Carp.
Carp would be awesome.
Yeah. What else is big scales?
I think mullet, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what I'm saying. But gar certainly do, yeah. And so do carp. Carp get real big. Also, buffalo. Those get big too.
Excellent. Wow, that's cool. Good stories.
Yeah, I know. So there you go. Fish in the news.
Wow. Good news. Love that. Stump the Fish Nerds.
I love Stump the Fish Nerds.
Yeah, now this Stump the Fish Nerds is our occasional subject where you can call into 607-378-FISH, leave us a voicemail, and we will answer the question. This came in from Carl Hayes, but through Facebook, which we also accept. Although we do an audio show, so our preference is a phone call.
Yeah.
So Carl Hayes, he's from Pennsylvania, wants to know, What's the craziest bait you've ever used to catch stocked trout? Mine is Velveeta cheese. My uncle showed it to me, and I called BS, and lo and behold, he pulls out 3 trout in 10 minutes out of a hole.
Wow. There you go.
Out of a hole, Dave.
Out of a hole. Just a hole.
So what's your craziest trout bait?
Stockies will eat about anything. And I think my craziest trout bait... I would say I have during one time where they had just stocked them, and I was wondering if I could catch them with anything. I think I actually took a leaf off of of something near me, like a shrub, and I'm pretty sure they hit that leaf.
Of course they did.
Yeah, so I would say a leaf.
Yeah, I haven't done any crazy bait for trout. I've done weird bait for other fishes, but not for trout.
Oh, like what?
Like the quick hot dog for anything in the ocean will eat a hot dog.
That's true.
I've done that. I've done marshmallows. Oh, I've done marshmallows for trout. That's weird.
Yeah, marshmallows are weird, especially if you use Lucky Charm marshmallows.
I've never done that.
Clover and moons
and blue diamonds.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, never done it. But
that'd be interesting to use those Lucky Charm marshmallows and see which one's better.
Oh, what color works best?
Yeah. Now for carp, I have used Cheerios.
And you've caught them.
Yes.
And mine
works really well.
I've never used. I've only ever caught one carp, and that was on Wonder Bread. So
that's good though.
Carp experience.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of experience fishing carp, but not a lot of catching experience. So anyway, that's Stump the Fish Nerds. You're like one call there, Dave.
Yeah, but that's there you go.
There you go. Maybe we'll start a little Facebook discussion on crazy baits.
Yeah, people chime in and they'll say, chicken livers, and they'll say all sorts of things.
I can't wait. And then we should just try them all.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. We should try them all. Yeah, put them all together in one.
I keep saying we, Dave. So there's been a heaviness on the show tonight that I've felt.
And it could be the tacos I ate.
It could be the tacos you ate. It could be the beer I just drank.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having an organic beer.
An orgasmic beer? What?
Organic.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, organic beer. But anyway, I think we need to let the elephant out of the room here, Dave, and tell people why we're making this show tonight. What's going on?
Well, it's a regular show with the exception that it's likely my last show.
Likely. It's so sad, Dave.
It is sad, yet it's, it is what it is.
Sometimes it's time.
Yeah, sometimes it is time, exactly. And I feel like we've ended on a good one. I thought, yeah, I know. I think it was good. But, yeah, it's been at least 5 years or something. It's been a long time. And, yeah, I just kind of a little bit ran out of steam. But, what have you?
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, and we'll still see you on the Facebook pages and all that stuff, and I'm sure I'll have you as an expert occasionally on the show as a guest.
Yeah, as soon as I find out what I'm an expert on. Yeah.
Well, you're an expert on fish nerds. So.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So so this show is my first attempt at mixing a show. So any kind of audio issues, usually Dave's fault. Tonight, all me. So
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll just be fine.
Yeah. So what I just did turned it about me instead of about you. But Dave, I gotta tell you, there's nobody else who I think would have gone on 5 years hanging out with me talking about fish.
That's true.
I don't understand how we got to this point, or we would never plan to get to this point, but here we are. So
yeah, I know it's been really great.
Yeah, so it has been really great. And I really appreciate all the fun we've had together. I was going through old photos, and I wasn't crying or anything, but I was getting really nostalgic the other day. So it's really good.
Memories
like the corner of my mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Misty watercolor memories of the way we were. Scattered pictures of the smiles we left behind, smiles we shared with one another, of the way we were. So.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Boy, that's a good way to say never do that again.
That's it. You're fired.
That's it. So that is it.
That's it.
You've listened to a few Fish Nerds when you should have been fishing.
Yeah, we'd like to thank our families for supporting us while we podcast, go on fishing quests, and do all sorts of silly things that middle-aged guys do. If you would like to support the Fish Nerds, call me.
Special thanks to Jeff Donaldson for turning in the Fish in the News, and a special thanks to Carl Hayes.
And special thanks to you, Dave, for 5 years of nerdiness. And until next time, follow the code of the Fish Nerds, spawn early and often.
Avoid free lunches with strings attached.
And swim against the current every chance you get. How's your health, Dave?
How's my health?
How's your heart doing?
It's fine.
Yeah, you don't sound very good.